Spin. Now let's dive in because we don't have any time to waste. All of a sudden today, we are getting a big pullback in Bitcoin. That support cracking, really dumping, dropping below the trend line support, still dumping at the moment. Most of the crypto markets, most of the coins are dumping right now, but it's not just the crypto market. I've seen a lot of people, including Peter Schiff, already screaming the sky is falling. Peter Schiff should know better if he had known to look at everything else, because everything else is falling as well, including the US stock market, which dropped really hard from 476 all the way down to 468, it looks like, at the moment. So it's not only there. Silver market having a pullback, gold having a pullback, oil as well. Oil was going green, and then that slam in the market is pulling it back too. So we're seeing the pullback across everything. I'm not sure yet if there's any major news headlines, because this pullback just started happening in the last couple of hours. What's up, Ruben? How's it going, buddy? So a lot of plays are cracking down because of this pullback. Like I said, Bitcoin starting to look like it may take this path down. Now, it is still early though. Because all the rest of the markets dropped, there is more than likely a chance that this is a knee-jerk reaction. Unless there's some type of news, like I said. Your portfolio's crying right now? Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this came out of nowhere, but it's not just the crypto market. It's all markets. So it's a this is something is going on. There's been a lot. If you've been following me, there's a lot been going on economically that I've been talking about, inflation and all of that, the Federal Reserve nonsense that they do. And this feels like that type of manipulation. We know the Fed is tapering out of the stock market, which means they're not pumping as much money into the stock market. So I'm just curious if the Feds have been secretly maybe pumping some money into Bitcoin, because the rest of these coins, all the altcoins shouldn't really be dumping at the same time as Bitcoin in the stock market. They don't have anything to do with each other. So if you're a Gods Unchained player, you don't really care about the stock market dropping right now. The main driver of the NFTs in that economy is the supply and demand is what drives those prices for those NFTs and those tokens to go up. And we did see a nice nasty drop in Gods as it's dropped below $4, which I was saying yesterday could be a possibility, but it was already on a downtrend. So if this is a knee-jerk reaction, this is just people who are holding Gods, who are investors. They don't actually play the game and maybe are not too interested in that side. They may not understand how that economy works, and they may dump their positions seeing that everything else is dumping. Because this is a lot of panic selling to see all across the market. However, Atom did hit, I believe, a new high yesterday. It was very close. Let's see how close it was, because it's hard to tell. Let me get this little line. So I can see which one was it. Was this the high or not? Oh, come on. Don't start this with me today, TradingView. I'm on roll right now. I'm on fire. It's so close. Actually, it hit the exact same spot wow, okay, that's a little strange. But basically, it almost made a new high. I mean, it hit the previous high of all time. So the pullback it's having, when you look at Atom looks like the best investment in the world out of everything right now, because it was already, pushing these highs yesterday, and it was going to have a little correction off of that big push that it had. It's been pushing up for about a week. So when you look at it like that, when you look at Atom and then you look at everything else, it's like this is not really panic selling. And if it was going to be selling anyway. So when you look at all the other coins that were in patterns that hadn't broke out, CGLD was hitting this uptrend anyway, or this downtrend. So there was going to be a sell-off on CGLD one way or another, because the consolidation isn't finished. There's this whole space left in the entire triangle. So that's not really strange to see this pullback on CGLD. Now the ones that didn't rip, like XYOU, it was testing support. It was testing support healthily, and then all of a sudden we have this nice yank down, because Bitcoin and everything else. So if this yank down is one of those quick little flash crashes that we have in the crypto market, then this support could still hold up. We could see a candle tomorrow where these plays that are below these trend lines jump back above them, like Litecoin. Litecoin was testing just fine on that trend line on this path until all of a sudden this yank back. We were not pointing in that other path. We had rebounded, and this is our second chance to rebound. So this could be possible buying opportunities on some things if this is a knee-jerk reaction. Because Solana down to 150, I'm thinking about picking it up at 150. I don't mind it at 150. There was a lot of support back through here at that area. If it drops down to 100, I will probably really, I'll be thinking about getting in there without too much hesitation at that price. So if you're panicking, if you're freaking out because you see this across all the markets, like if you're maybe only invest in a couple of coins and you're not paying attention to the entire crypto market, and you're like, wow, I'm down a lot. It's not just you, it's everybody right now across all markets. So if everybody continues to panic and sells, then we could see cryptos continue to pull back. But until I see some type of news headlines of why this would happen, and maybe we can check. Let's actually go to Bitcoin and check and see if we got a reason why. Because if there's no reason why, this is probably more likely a buying opportunity. And actually, if you look at the Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin is not actually bearish. On the futures, Bitcoin is holding up the trend line at the moment. It just dropped and pulled back the rest of the way to the trend line. So that could easily bounce off the futures and lead to, that continuation that I was talking about into the end of January and February. This feels more like another little flash crash, a little breather before we move back into a hot market. I mean, we've been just dipping and dipping. Now, the Ethereum futures, those look a little bit rough, but 3,500 is a whole number, and that's also where some support is. I can just drag that support line down. That was previous resistance all back through here. So maybe that's the actual bottom. But there was a couple of levels where it tried to hold. It tried to hold there, then it tried to hold there. So this last little attempt, is this pullback because Ethereum was going to go to this support line anyway? Or was it because of all this sell-off that's happening? So let's pull up. Let me see here. I know we got a lot of comments. Let me look at some of these comments. DopeX. Yeah, I think we looked into DopeX the other day. I believe you guys came in here. Hey, what's up, Weirdo Shrine? Does the price of Gods token have any influence on the price of the card NFTs in the IMX market? So that is a good question, and I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is because Gods token is not the only way that you can value the cards. You can value the cards in Ethereum. You can value them in the US dollar. You can value them in USDC. So the price of the NFTs is not really directly tied to the token itself. The price of the NFTs is going to be tied to the scarcity and the supply and demand of the in-game economy, the people who are playing the game, who are buying the cards. So let's actually go and check this, because this is a very interesting test for Gods Unchained to see if the NFT marketplace will hold up. So the way I've been judging it is only off of one set, and that's Divine Order. And I always do it highest price. I sort by highest price, and I only do meteorite quality, because a lot of people aren't really buying the diamond quality cards. The place where people are buying a lot of the NFTs are the meteorite quality. They're the cheapest of the NFTs, so you get a lot more people purchasing. Like today, there's been 44 Finny and Fruit Bearers purchased. So you look at that. Let's see. Let's get a 7-day there. Yeah, I mean the prices have dipped a tiny amount on the Finny and Fruit Bear. There's some, that have dropped a little, but this is not the. It's not the price necessarily that's dropping though. It's what people are willing to price them at. So you don't know. Maybe these 10 or 11 people that have these ones up here below $70, maybe they just saw one of their crypto positions crash and they want to buy more of it because it's cheap. So they're like, oh, I've got this NFT that's only up a little bit over what I bought it, but it's in the green. I'll just sell it and I'll buy it back later when I make a bigger profit on that other play. Like, we don't know really with these dips, because there's not much. Let's see. There's actually a spike earlier. Yeah, at at 10 a.m., they actually spiked to $147. So the market is not really affecting the prices at all. And then this is the thing with the chart here. You can see it's going to be based on this in-game economy. As this card has become more and more popular, the prices went up because there's not that many of them out there. People are playing this card a lot. If we go to lowest price and we check this guy out, you can see the chart on it. It's just like, it's had a few spikes in price, but for the most part, they stay around 5 cents. So these charts don't really have anything to do with Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything. Because even if Ethereum goes down or God's token goes down or whatever you're buying the cards in, if people are still buying the cards a whole lot more than any of that other stuff, then the cards are going to take more of those devalued currencies to buy them. So I don't think that's going to bother them. You might, if you're looking at it as US dollar form, you may, it's really hard to, this is a concept I'm working on explaining. I haven't got quite figured out how to explain in a simple process, because first you have to know the difference between currency and value and what makes something have value. So if you don't understand those premises and supply and demand, and you're talking about NFTs where you have multiple currencies in the crypto space and the US dollar fiat currency can be exchanged, just see what I'm saying? Like, just trying to put that together is kind of complicated to even explain. So I'm going to try to keep thinking of a better way to put it to where it makes sense. But yeah, it's the US dollar is not the main currency. It has been a global reserve currency, but it slowly, and you might as well say at this point, lost its status. China's going to replace it soon. It's only a matter of time because there's no way we can get out of this debt, and we owe a lot of it to China. So the US dollar, like for instance, if you look at Bitcoin as $45,000, okay, the $45,000 you would pay for Bitcoin right now would still be less value than the dollars you would have paid for it at 45,000 back here in 2021, because inflation has been going up. So with inflation, your purchasing power, the value that your US dollar is measuring, the currency that it's measuring your value, is measuring less value. So it takes more of those to purchase. So when it comes to NFT and being in that economy, its own economy where currencies can be switched in and out, there's not really a main currency. I mean, Gods is the main currency that powers the blockchain, but as far as what you can buy the NFTs with, you can buy them on OpenSeas. OpenSeas has no affiliations or anything with Gods Unchained, and you can take the NFTs off of the Immutable X blockchain. You can take them off of the Ethereum blockchain. So that's another factor. It's I don't know. It's a weird thing, but it seems to be not affecting the Gods NFTs, the cards, those markets really much. Let's see here. Hopefully that was, I mean, I know that wasn't exactly clear, but I'll work on it. No, it's not the end of the world, DB. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, if all the market crashes, you can't make that assumption one life, because you don't know. You can't say that if the market crashes, no one will have money to buy God's cards. Like that right there is ignoring what I just said about the difference between currency and value. Like, you just called US dollars money. US dollars are not money. They are a measuring stick of value. And they are measuring less and less value by the day. So the cards, the NFTs, if you found somebody else who played Gods Unchained and you needed some bread, maybe they live in Venezuela or something like that, you could cold ship some bread in exchange for a God's NFT. So, it's not like, and then even so, you can still, like, even if you don't want to go through that process, which you could if you really wanted to, you can still exchange the NFT for some type of currency, whether it be a fiat or a cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrencies are still being accepted by other companies. So you can still buy things. If the US dollar crashes and I've got Bitcoin, well, if I go to El Salvador, Bitcoin is the only tender there. It doesn't matter about what the US dollar does. Bitcoin is the only thing that matters in their country. So I could go and spend my Bitcoin on bread all day long in El Salvador and not give two damns about the US. So, like, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see, Daniel B. 2 golden. That's an interesting story. Not sure the relevance of it, but hey. But anyway, all these pullbacks, like I said, it's across all markets. It's not just one. And I don't think it's going to be, in the crypto market, I don't think it's going to be a very long term pullback. In fact, let's go ahead and look at the short term and see what's happening on the 15-minute chart. Okay. So there's the initial big pullback. That's the Bitcoin future. Let me go to actual Bitcoin. Okay, so there's the big pullback. All right, so buyers have not been able to come in here. Now, too, here's another thing. This is one thing I've been talking about for a long time, is I'm not one who thinks Bitcoin is the entire weight of the crypto market. I don't think Gods Unchained, Gods Token, or its NFTs should have anything to do with Bitcoin. They're totally two different things, right? They're different types of assets and currencies. Same way as Bitcoin and Ethereum are not the same thing. Cosmos Atom and Ethereum are not the same thing. Like a lot of these projects can't just be valued because what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin can lose market cap to these other altcoins. Bitcoin can lose market cap to Ethereum. You know, there's a certain point where buyers go push a price of something so high that they can't buy any more of that unless they're really, really rich, which is kind of what Bitcoin has gotten to. Like, to really make any money off of Bitcoin, you got to put a decent amount into it now. Because for Bitcoin to double in price, which means you make 100% gain, Bitcoin has to go from 43,000 right now to 86,000. That is not something that is going to happen very easily, or we had already seen that. It's been a struggle just for Bitcoin to hold over 50,000. You buy the same amount of Bitcoin, or the same amount you was going to buy in Bitcoin in US dollar price, you go and take that and put that in Shiba, where Shiba doesn't need to go very far to double in price, then you're going to be able to make a lot more bigger profits. And with that being the case, these other projects will still market cap. So I'm not surprised, and I won't be surprised if Bitcoin does continue to go bearish, and then all of a sudden we see the altcoin market still exploding, because they don't really have any correlation whatsoever. I mean, one life, gods could be a fad. There's no telling. You know, we don't know. But Magic the Gathering, that's been around way longer than any of the things you named. Well, Pac-Man's still around. Is Pac-Man the most popular thing in the world? No, but everybody knows Pac-Man. So if Gods Unchained becomes a household name from where it's at now, that's a lot of money that can be made. These are small projects that we're talking about here. We're talking about getting in Beanie Babies. Like right now, if you're in Gods Unchained, you're buying the beans that are inside the Beanie Babies before the Beanie Babies are even made. That's the part we're at with Gods Unchained. But we can talk about, you know, Gods Unchained versus Bitcoin, but again, they don't have anything in common. And Bitcoin does not keep anything running. The only thing that Bitcoin keeps running is the Bitcoin blockchain. Gods token is going to power the Gods layer 3. Immutable X, IMX tokens the immutable tokens. The IMX token runs the Immutable X blockchain, which is the layer 2 on top of Ethereum, which is ran by Ethereum gas fees. So this is why you got to do research, One Life, before you come at me with these debates, because you just said something that was so uneducated that it is so far off base. And you're bullish on Bitcoin, I know, but Bitcoin can crash and go to zero, and Ethereum can and go to 100,000. Like, Bitcoin does not have to be around for other coins to be around. Will Bitcoin be around? More than likely, because the thing has, been up at 50,000 and 65,000, and it is a secure chain, and they do have the Taproot upgrade that is going to allow more applications to be built on it. But they're not the same. You can't compare. It's just not the same at all. You can't compare Bitcoin and Ethereum or any two projects. Like, Shiba and Doge are not even the same project. They both have high amount of coins, but Shiba has a market cap. Shiba also has a bunch of other projects, like NFTs. I don't think Dogecoin really has any NFTs yet. If they do, I'm not aware of it. Yeah, it's not that a handful will survive. I mean, the market doesn't stop. Like, once you have a technological advancement, like in the dot-com bubble, this is why I hate the argument of the dot-com bubble. Because it's not like the dot-com bubble happened and then the crash happened and then the internet was gone. No, the internet still existed, and there's still plenty of companies to this day that are competing, and new companies opening up every day on the internet. So the bubble did pop back then, but is it a bubble if technology continues to advance and the prices go up even after it had a pullback? It's not a bubble then, it's just a pullback before it went on the big run. So that, I mean, sure, the cryptos could pull back more. They could have a big pullback. I don't think Bitcoin's going to go under 20,000. I don't even think it's going to go under 30,000. I mean, it's $13,000 away from there. And unless something's happening where institutions or something want to get into Ethereum instead, Bitcoin probably won't drop that much. There's going to be institutions that are going to pick it up. Just like we see in the stock market. We see stocks that sell off, institutions dump them, and then they come back later and buy them up. Retail traders will come in and buy them up too. Like, it's the same thing with cryptos. We could do this. These candlesticks, like I've been saying, they were invented by a Japanese man long time ago, centuries ago, to measure rice. So they're not exclusive to any asset. These candlestick charts can be used to measure anything. Like, Daniel B probably keeps a very tight log of the few pubic hairs that he grows on a chart, on a candlestick chart. That would be my guess. A ton of those tech bubble companies are dust, but how many more tech? It's like a hydra. You cut a hydra's head off, it's going to keep growing more heads. A new technological advancement like internet or blockchain is going to be a new hydra, a new level of hydra in technological advancement. So you may see a bunch of them die, but so is a bunch of them going to keep coming up. Like, has the internet stopped one life? Has all the companies on the internet went bankrupt since 2000 when the bubble happened or whatever? No. Google is one of the most biggest companies in the world, along with Amazon, Facebook. It actually is the opposite. Plenty of companies on the who weren't even around during the dot-com bubble, like Facebook, are now the biggest tech companies in the world. So it's going to be the same thing. You're going to continue to have projects. You're going to have older projects that survive. You're going to have older projects that die. It's the same cycles and everything else as in the stock market and any other assets. There's no difference just because it's cryptos. That's the thing I don't get is people like have all these arguments for cryptos, but it's the same arguments that you could throw at stocks or gold or silver at anything. Like, that's not an argument if you can argue that for any speculation or asset. Like, it's like, What are you saying? Are you just not going to invest? Are you scared of investing? Because we know the saying out here, scared money don't make money. So, I mean, if you're scared of investing, which I'm more scared to leave my money, honestly, in US dollars than I am anything else. I'd much rather have my money in God's NFT cards and God's tokens right now than the US dollar. But it's not a bubble. You can call it a bubble because it went up real big and popped, sure. But if in 5 years, Facebook and Google and all that are the top tech companies, the top, not even top tech companies, but top biggest companies in the world, then it wasn't a bubble. It was just a correction from a big run. Like a bubble is like tulips, as Daniel B likes to reference. Tulips are still around, but they have never gone up in value again like that. There's a reason for that, because that was stupid herd mentality. But tulips did not advance or do anything for the way we live as humans, as a society, the way we operate. The internet changed everything, and that's why so many of those companies that weren't even there then, during the bubble or before the bubble, that came in after the bubble, are way more richer than the companies that was even during the bubble. Like, the bubble did not matter. It's not a bubble in that case. If the stock or the asset comes back up, it's not a bubble. Tulips are a bubble. Bitcoin has went down and came back up plenty of times. It has 10 years of doing this. The charts have gotten bigger, but more people in the world have started buying and selling. So, of course, if there's more transactions, the candlesticks are going to be a lot bigger. There wasn't as many people buying back here as there was here, or buying and selling. So, like, looking at this, you're calling this chart a bubble, but you won't call this chart a bubble. This is Bitcoin. Matter of fact, let's put Bitcoin on the weekly chart. No, let's leave it on the daily chart. No, we need the weekly chart for this. Okay. There's Bitcoin. You call this a bubble. And this is the S&P 500, the stock market. But you don't call this a bubble. You're going to have to take me through that logic, because I ain't getting it. Like, this is a spike straight up on an entire market. That chart does not look nowhere as healthy as the Bitcoin chart or the Ethereum chart. These have spiked up, but even though they've spiked up, they have corrected massively when they had their big spikes. So this was a big spike back in, what is that? Let me get off the futures and go back. I don't need to show the SPY anymore. Everybody knows that stock market's way overdue. Where's Bitcoin at? Yeah. So same thing back here. If we go way back here, let's go way back here where it looks little and tiny. If I take this chart and I actually go and expand it and look at it, well, that chart doesn't look so damn tiny anymore, does it? But Bitcoin did not just run to 50,000. This is 2013. Bitcoin went from, under $1 all the way up to 1,100. That was crazy. But people were calling Bitcoin a bubble here. And then we go into 2016. Well, if you were calling it a bubble here, then what were you saying here? It was a bubble, and then it explodes again, and you're like, oh, this is a bubble. This thing's going to crash. And then it explodes again, and you're like, oh, this is a bubble. And then it's going to crash, and you're like, oh, this is a bubble. you could keep on saying that as long as if you want, but you're going to have to show me where's the bubble at if we go up again, because we have continued to went up. Even if Bitcoin was to drop down to 25,000, even if it was dropped to 20,000, that is still above the bubble that it was first called a bubble. So, not sure what you're kind of getting at there. Bubbles, either you don't understand bubbles, or we, as humans, we just like to pretend and make up words to fit things. But tulips are a bubble. Bitcoin, no. You look at a chart for tulips, it's not going to look like this. This chart looks a lot healthier than the U.S. stock market SPY. Well, which is the handful? If you're gonna make that statement of Bitcoin's not a bubble, but the other 10K altcoins, except for a handful, then what's the handful that you're excluding? Like, because, and like I said, Bitcoin can lose market cap to other cryptos. So how do you know? What is your handful list? What is your handful list of tech companies? One Life. If a new tech company comes out tomorrow and they can cure cancer, are you going to buy that stock? Or are you not going to buy it because it's a tech company, it's a new tech company, and you know, it doesn't have any previous history. You're just going to be like, nah, I'm not going to buy that. They're just curing cancer. You know, they're just curing the world of one of the worst diseases out there. But nah, with blockchain, it's just making every single piece of data that we have in the world that takes up all that energy and all that storage. It just makes that easier and faster and cheaper. It just makes it easier and faster to cheaper to transfer ownership of things to people. It makes it faster and easier and cheaper to move money around. It makes it faster, easy, and cheaper to, like I said, hold data, all these things. But no, let's not even look at that. Let's ignore those, and let's talk about buying the SPY that's on a giant spike that the Federal Reserve constantly just grabs all the markets like this, and they're just like, yeah, stock market, how do you like that? That's Jerome Powell in my head. That's what he looks like. Okay? I don't want to be in that market. That's why you see the volatility like this every single day in the SPY, in the stock market. I'll day trade that market. I'll swing trade, but I ain't holding anything for long term out of the stock market right now. Not with Jerome Powell going all chihuahua on the U.S. currency and all of that. Excuse me. Let's see, Daniel B. One Life. If America will collapse, you can come with me to Slovakia. You're gonna be an American refugee in Slovakia. Interesting. Don Ho knows about bubbles. There's One Life. If you did any research, exactly, Weirdo Shrine, Bitcoin is losing dominance, and that's what I was talking about with it. Other coins, other projects like Ethereum, Avalanche, they're going to still market cap, because every coin in the world can't all go up to $1 trillion market caps. So they're going to have to pull investors from other places. And that's why I was saying Bitcoin's price getting so high, it doesn't really incentivize smaller investors to get into Bitcoin. You're better off going into other interests. But One Life, you're using BTCS as an example, which again, you've not done the research on, because if you did any research, if you just, for the love of God, stopped arguing with me and just do a little bit, just a tiny bit, you would know that BTCS is validating nodes for Ethereum, Polkadot, and a whole bunch of others. The reason why I know this is because I just recorded this video earlier, and if you'd have watched the 5-minute video, you would have seen their new investor presentation. Jesus Christ. Where it shows all the coins and all the blockchains that they validate for. Current operations, proof of stake, Ethereum, delegated proof of stake. Let me go back. Tezos, Cardano, Cosmos, future developments, proof of stake, Algorand, delegated proof of stake, Terra, Polkadot, Solana, Kasuma. So they're paying out in Bitcoin, probably because they realize that Bitcoin is moving market cap, while they're staking out these other coins and making a lot more interest than they are off of mining Bitcoin, because proof of stake chains are better. They are more efficient. So go do your research before you come in here with your little nonsense, because you do this over and over again. And if you want to have the discussion, look, here's their digital asset holdings. I showed this on the video earlier too. Look at the digital asset. What do they have more of? Their top holdings, they have 90 Bitcoin. They have 8 Ethereum? No, that's 8,000 Ethereum. They have 8,000 Polkadot. Like, they're already holding other coins. So using a company that's a validator that holds 10 other coins as an argument against other coins is literally ignorant. Come on. Come on, man. Get the memes going. Let's go. What? Percentage gain is percentage gain, so small investors looking to make 5,000% returns are or broke, or you can make 100% returns on Bitcoin. What do you mean? What do you mean, why can't they? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore, One Life. Don't play victim, Daniel B. Don't you do it. Anyway, let's get back and look. Let's keep an eye on everything. Get through some of these chart patterns, because there is a lot going on. Let's make sure that this is just a knee-jerk reaction, and of course we'll have to monitor it through tomorrow, because this crash just happened, this little flash drop, and it's not really, I mean, it's a pullback, but 46,000 on Bitcoin dropping down to 43,000, that's only $3,000 drop. It's not that big of a drop. You know, Ethereum dropping, where's Ethereum at? I'll find you here in a second, Ethereum. Damn, it's the contract. I don't want the why is Ether not on my list? I've got the contract there. Go by alphabetical. Here it is. Somehow I got off my list. Okay. Yeah, so already on the 15-minute chart, you can see where buyers was like, hey, Ethereum's down under 3,500. We're snatching that up. So some buyers came in there. it could continue to dip, but since that crash started happening, that's the biggest candle. And this initial crash was from 37.38 down to 3,400. So it's $300 that it dropped, and then in 15 minutes it just rebounded almost $100 in that one candle. So we'll see. I mean, that is where the trend line is at on the higher time frames. This support on, well, that's Ethereum. Let's see. The support on Bitcoin didn't hold, so I'm going to take it out. Yeah, same thing on Bitcoin. You can see came down all the way to 42 almost, but has already jumped back up $1,000. And $1,000 jump in that little time span. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that big of a drop to see that drop. It's not a panic moment. Now, the next couple of days, if we don't see all these plays get back on their trend lines on the route they were going, and they just continue to sell off, then we're going to have a problem. Like, if we see Bitcoin down at 40,000, testing 40,000, that could be a little bit of a concern that we may go a little bit lower, like I said, to that 30,000, 35,000. But I'm not even bullish on Bitcoin. As I've said in the past, I barely have any Bitcoin. I'm bullish on other altcoin projects like Cosmos, Atom, way more than Bitcoin or Ethereum. And I'm starting to become really bullish on Solana the more I dive into it, because Solana is very similar to Atom, as in it's very cheap to do any of the transactions. But Solana I still don't think is better than Atom and Cosmos. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Weirdo Shrine. Hoy. Too many people looking for a quick pump and dump? Who? I mean, yeah, if you go and buy a coin that you don't do any research on, and it's like a coin of a butt, and it's like, this is ass coin, and there's nobody who holds it but one wallet. When you go look at the scan, and their website looks like garbage, yeah, if you go and buy that project, it's going to be terrible. But it's the same in the stock market. If you go buy an OTC stock of some company that's bankrupt, you know, it's no different than buying that asset. So it's another one of those arguments I hear against crypto, which sounds dumb. One Life. Let's see. Hoy says it's time to buy. He just bought some 1 minute ago. I mean, that's up to you, man. Which wallet do I have? I have a lot of wallets, BBJ. Which wallet for what? Are you new to crypto? If you're new, I can point you in the right directions for some basic stuff to get you started. And then it just, I mean, the more deep you want to get into it, you can. I've just dove head deep because I just love it. I've become a crypto advocate. I will push it and push it because I think there is amazing things that can be done for society as a whole if we adopt and embrace blockchain technology instead of fighting it. Yes, you're a beginner, BBJ? Okay. I don't know, One Life, go do your research. If you go do your research, you'll know which crypto to put your money in. That was the whole point of my argument that you started, was that you don't know what you're talking about, so go do some research. So you go do that, you'll get the answer to that question. Coinbase. So BBJ and anybody else who are new to cryptos and they're wanting to get into cryptos, Coinbase is probably the most user friendly to start with. It's a good entry to cryptos, and they do have these learn and earns where you can actually earn free crypto for watching about these different altcoins. So like you can see I earned $3 in fetch, and they're just 1 minute videos. So you just watch them real quick, take a test, and they'll pay you that money out. And they do this all the time with new coins that list on Coinbase. So you can see I've earned some AMP, some fetch, Stellar Lumens. There's been plenty of them though. These are the only ones that are up there showing right now. So Coinbase is kind of the easiest one to access in America, because in America we don't have a lot of choices unless you want to go fully decentralized. So Coinbase is going to be centralized, but they are a public company on the stock market, so you do still get some transparency as they have to report everything. However, we do know the stock market and the American economy and the people reporting the SEC and all of that may not be on up and up as much as everybody has thought they has been. So, Coinbase, the fact that you can see that transparency in the investor presentations and stuff, you know there's some trust that's been built with Coinbase for a lot of people. But I have heard some people having some issues where they lost money. These things tend to happen, but not just with cryptos, because I see it in all types of markets. You know, I'll see comments on somebody buying something from Amazon where they never got the package, so they get gypped on their money. It's a very small percentage that these weird things happen to, but Coinbase has probably built the best history. And Coinbase also has Coinbase Pro, which actually I have up, which is just another website platform, but it's a lot better to actually trade on. The fees are cheaper. Now, my normal blockchain or that I would push, well, first let me say this. Coinbase also does have a separate wallet app, but you don't need it. I don't use the Coinbase wallet. I just use the Coinbase app because I have the Coinbase debit card and I can day trade on the Coinbase Pro app. I can sling some of that money back over here to Coinbase, put it in USDC, and I'm going to earn interest on any money I spend. You can see right there I do have $10 left. But I've been earning 4% back in AMP tokens and $83 so far. And I just got this debit card not too long ago in AMP rewards. So AMP is another crypto if you're not familiar with it. So there's a lot of cool little things you can do with Coinbase. If you want to go the decentralized route, and depends on what coins you're interested in getting into. So I do have coins on another app I use. Coinbase you can use on your desktop and your phone. Voyager is supposed to be coming to desktop soon. And I have links for both Bitcoin and Voyager down in the description that you can use to sign up with. I have videos on Voyager and Bitcoin as well. But yeah, here's Voyager. And they're also a publicly listed company. They're on the Canadian exchange, but they are also in the OTC markets in America under VYGVF. And I actually prefer their mobile app over Coinbase's mobile app, but they don't have the desktop yet. They do have where you can gain interest on coins that you hold in this Voyager app. So you don't actually have to even stake. If you just hold these balances, you can get this type of interest on these coins. Like Polkadot, you can earn 12% on if you hold a minimum of 20 Polkadot a month. So both of them, Voyager and Coinbase, I have them both because they both have a few coins that the other one doesn't have. And eventually, as long as Voyager doesn't disappoint me with the desktop app, I will probably go to them. But for my decentralized coins, there's a couple of different wallets I have. You can get a NanoX hardware ledger. And this thing just basically looks like a little memory stick. But you can, like Coinbase, you can buy your coins off of and put them on this, or if you buy them off of a decentralized swap. So for somebody coming from the stock market who's brand new, the centralized way is probably going to be the best way to start with cryptocurrencies. Once you dive a little bit deeper, then I would say maybe look into the decentralized way, because depending on the project, it can be very complicated to get coins. Because the thing is, you've got to have some type of on-ramp to the blockchain that you're buying the coins for. Coinbase and Voyager act as on-ramps onto the chain. So you would have to, if you're going decentralized, what I usually do is put the money in Coinbase Pro and send it, because like I said, Coinbase Pro is cheaper to use than the regular Coinbase. And I'll just send it to whatever chain I'm looking to trade on. So like Cosmos, for example, has its own, it has a couple of DEXs. And DEX is a decentralized exchange, meaning that no centralization, nobody owns this exchange. This is a public exchange. It's just pretty much owned by the token holders or the coin holders. But you can come to one of these DEXs and connect your wallet. So I have a Kepler wallet for Cosmos Atom and all my Atom investments. I'm very fast. See how quick that was? So the reason why I have this is, for one, I don't want all my money in, all my eggs in one basket, right? If something happens with Coinbase, if I've got all my money in Coinbase, well, then I'm screwed. If something happens with Voyager and I got all my money in Voyager, well, then I'm screwed. That's the reason I also don't just invest in one cryptocurrency or one stock, no matter what assets I'm looking at. You know, I have gold and silver, but I just don't have just raw gold and silver lying around. I have bars, coins, jewelry, things like that. So you can stake when you buy directly on to your wallet here, which was going to get you more interest. So the one reason, if you don't trust decentralization, then this would be a reason to use the decentralization. The other reason to use the decentralized way, besides just keeping the assets in your own wallet where they can't be taken from you, is staking. Like staking through a centralized exchange is going to cost you more fees. If you stake directly with the blockchain validators of the nodes, then you're going to get higher interest rate. Like Coinbase, I think, offers 4% on Algorand for staking. But if you stake directly with Algorand, you're going to get 11%, I believe. It changes, and I could be wrong because I'm not that big on Algorand. But same thing with Cosmos or anything. But you would just come in here. Atom's the main token of this blockchain. So you would have Atom, and you could select these other coins. And then all you do is just do a little swappy here and follow the contract. And then once you do that, they will be in your wallet. And if you go to stake, the Kepler wallet's very easy to use for the Cosmos ecosystem. So you can see I got some Atom in there, 6.3 of them staked with a little bit of rewards, a little bit of staking rewards coming through. Akash, got 75 of those and got 4.5 of those. I need to reinvest these. The cool thing is it's not like a dividend stock where you get paid out quarterly or annually. You can get these payouts every single day if you want to. I just let mine build like every week or 2 weeks, and then I pull them and put them back into the investment to continue to compound it. But you're going to get more interest going the decentralized way than the centralized way. But as a beginner, I suggest just starting out the centralized way, because this is only the Cosmos wallet. The Cosmos ecosystem, the Gravity DEX, and the Kepler wallet. There's plenty of blockchains, plenty of DEXs, and plenty of different wallets. So I would say just stick with Voyager or Coinbase or both if you want to try both. But either way, like I said, both are in the description if you need them. Let's see where are we at here. Well, there's a lot of comments. Oh, I forgot to change the title of this stream, I think. No wonder people was looking for... Oh, Weirdo Shrine, did they discontinue the Learn to Earn? I'm not aware of that, but it is possible. Let me real quick go and change something here on the stream before I forget. We're doing this new live stream setup with a new company and whatnot. No, we're good. Live crypto update, yeah. Yeah, no, we're good. We're on the right one. I think. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I had it right. I was just confused. A lot of people asking for God, so I was just making sure I wasn't. We can talk about God some more. I just want to make sure I wasn't misleading on the title. You took a screenshot of my $35 Coinbase portfolio? Wow. Nice. Did you get a picture of the $1,000 that's in Cosmos Atom? You want to go look at the other wallets after I just said that I have multiple wallets. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. You want to go take pictures of all of them, you weirdo? So what did Ruben say? Oh, you're still getting coins on the Learn and Earn? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They used to do the program quite a bit. Why would I have my metals insured? Why would I pay somebody else money in case something happens? Like, insurance is one of the dumbest things ever. Let's see, you've gained 50 so far from the Learn to Earn, sold it for Gods initially. Nice. Well, Weirdo Shrine, I'm glad you made it. No, you can earn. That's the great thing about Gods Unchained One Life, and why I've been pushing it so hard, is because there's no barrier to entry. You can start playing Gods Unchained for free just by going and signing up at their website. You will have to have a MetaMask wallet, but as you play for free, you will, and see it right here on their website, play now for free. As you play, the more experience you get, you will earn packs to unlock. But before you start jumping to conclusions and saying, oh, the cards are free, they're valueless, blah, 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 there's a lot more to it than that. It's not as simple as the cards that you get right away that are free are going to have value. They have to be forged first. So I have videos, plenty of videos on the forge and all of that, how the Gods Unchained ecosystem works. And I'm still going to continue to cover more stuff on it, like the white papers. So go watch those videos, One Life, and you can learn more about it. But yeah, if you're just joining the stream or you're wondering solely about Gods because Gods is dropping, don't worry. It's the whole entire. It's all the markets that have been dropping, not just Gods, not just Bitcoin and Ethereum, but stock market, everything else. So this could be a knee-jerk reaction, and I had the support line at 4, but that cracked. So since it cracked with this possible knee-jerk reaction, let's just bring it on down. And 350 seems to be more likely to hold as support now, which was a possibility, and even $3 as a possibility, as that was the lowest prices we've had, right around 3. That kind of did dip about 275. That one dipped to about 290. But it does look like where it's trying to hold up at this moment, the bottom of the body of this candle is just right above 350. So if we see 350 continue to hold, then we could see it bounce off there. Now I'm definitely going to be picking up more. I'm just going to wait to make sure that this is the bottom. Because if you thought the bottom was here and you bought some and then it dropped some more, and you thought this was the bottom, which I did think could be the bottom, but it wasn't. We didn't get that final confirmation. We were looking for the downtrend to break. The downtrend never broke. So, of course, it's going to have a sell-off. And more than likely, this sell-off today was going to happen regardless of what else happened in the market. But everything else pulling back did not help and probably exaggerated the pullback. And then you could see it, if it holds here, I'm just waiting for it to start pushing back up and break this trend line. But I still have all my Gods tokens that I've earned from playing. I have Gods tokens that I've bought before it ever even came to Coinbase. I've got some in my MetaMask. I've got a few that I bought at the top where I'm holding that are down. I'm down on a course, but when you average in all the Gods tokens that I have, then it's a lot lower. Not this low. Most of my price was around, besides the free coins, most of my price was around the $4 or $5 area. But I'm going to be picking up some as soon as it hits a bottom. Because, like I've been saying, staking and governance is coming soon. And there's a finite supply of Gods token. There's only 500 million tokens ever going to be made. And not only that, not all of them are circulated yet. The last time, I don't know, it was around like 20 to 30 million of supply. Let's go to, what's that damn, there we go, Livecoin Watch. And see what the circulating supply is at the moment. Oh, no, they're not on there very much. Well, I do want to see the holders real quick. They're showing the holders yet? About 5,774 holders. I think Livecoin Watch is out of date. Let's go to CoinGecko. Reason why I think it's out of date is because this tweet at the bottom there they're showing is out of date. That's not a new tweet. Livecoin Watch going downhill. They can't keep up. Yeah, so looks like 33 million still is the main circulating supply. So still very low. Even when all the total supply is released, there's still only going to be 500 million. That's still not that many. And especially with all the utility that Gods has in that ecosystem. The multiple things you're going to be able to do with it. See, as I'm talking about it, it's already pushed up 13 cents just off of that 350 area. Let's see. Yeah, you can buy cards from other people. Of course you can. Yeah, you can absolutely buy them from other people, Ruben. You can. It's easy. All you got to do when you go to Gudex and go to the marketplace on Token Trove, you can list the cards directly on Token Trove if you want to see what the highest price card overall on Token Trove is right now. There you go. There's one of this card, the Ashen Drake, and they've got it listed for $880,000, almost $1 million on that diamond card. And you can see some of these other ones up in the $70,000s, $100,000 range. But all you would have to do, well, see, I don't own that card. Let me find some I own. The Finian Fruit Bear, I own some of those. Well, why isn't that showing it there either? Is Gudex glitching? Oh, I know why. Because I'm not logged in. I gotta connect my wallet. That's why. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Try to type it fast. For you hackers can count how many letters or how many dots it is. Alright, now let's see. Yeah, so transfer. So all you have to do is have somebody who's a mutable X address, and you could sell them outside of the marketplace. Just like I said, there's Gods NFTs on OpenSea. OpenSea has nothing to do with Gods Unchained. It's just an NFT marketplace. It's just a decentralized NFT marketplace where you can go to send anything, like crypto kitties. But there are people selling coins, or not coins, but cards on there, and some of the whatever that is. Oh, that's actually a bundle where they're selling multiple things. But you can come to OpenSea and there's just all types of different NFTs. But yeah, you could easily sell directly to your friends or anybody. You can, like, it's not, that's the thing, like, it's not any different than anything else. If stock market crashes like I believe, all these other markets will fail too. No, that's not true at all. I've already explained that plenty of times. Just because the stock market would crash in the U.S. doesn't mean it's going to crash any cryptos. It might crash some cryptos, or we might see some cryptos still ripping through the roof. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Same thing. Stock market has crashed before, and what happened? Gold and silver went up, or gold went up. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, exactly like Ruben's saying. It depends on why and how. There are loads I keep hearing that there are loads of coins getting unlocked in January 11th. Let's see. Okay, One Life, you have a question. If crypto is based on utility smart contracts blockchain, do I think Microsoft, Google, Apple would get... Yeah, they already have. Google, if you would go do the research, One Life, Google is backing HBAR, Hederagraph or whatever. Look up HBAR, Hederagraph. Yes, of course, Google and Facebook has their own token. Facebook has the metaverse thing that they're talking about. They have their own dumb token. but nobody cares about their dumb tokens. The whole reason people get into cryptocurrencies is for the decentralization. They don't want projects, they don't want to be in economies ran by Google, Facebook, or our stupid government. They want to be in economies where everybody has a say, and there are protocols and smart contracts in place that take out the stupid, the human stupidity and errors. So, like Google, I don't care about them getting Hedera. Like, I have no interest in Hedera. I have no interest in Facebook's metaverse. Could care less about them. Yeah, Ruben, it would be basically a private transaction. Yeah. Transferring NFTs is the same thing as transferring a coin. It's just a signature, a code signature that you're transferring across the chain of data. So it's easy. It's just as easy to transfer NFTs as it is coins. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I was saying. This is why when this drop happened, I saw it in the stock market first, which I was actually saying this morning in the live stream. This was going to probably happen. And I didn't think it was going to be across all the markets. I just thought the stock market, was going to have a pullback because it was about time, looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Index. And I guess that kind of just spurred everything. Let's go check some news and see if there's anything going on. Let's go. I don't like CoinDesk that much anymore, but maybe it'll have something on there. Like I said, if there wasn't really a reason for all the markets to crash like that all of a sudden, then it's probably not a big deal. Australian Open. Huh. Yeah, look, this is exactly what Weirdo Shrine was talking about and what I've been talking about. Bitcoin dips as dominance over Ethereum shrinks. Oh, here it is. This is what it was. The Feds pointed to a possible rate hike in March. This is what dropped the markets. This is the same dumb shit that's been going on all year from Jerome Powell. This is why I was doing the humping the desk earlier, because of this nonsense right here. The Feds, like, listen to that wording. Points to a possible. That means nothing whatsoever. But everybody is so hell-bent on believing Jerome Powell and believing in the Federal Reserve and the governments that they won't read that part of the sentence. All they're going to see is rate hike in March. But that's not what is going on. The Feds are just doing what they've been doing and trying to hold off investors from crashing the market by continuing to pretend like they have any type of control over inflation. Breaking news from a year ago when I said this, the Feds don't have control over inflation. They think they do, but they don't. If they were going to stop inflation, they would have done it when it started getting out of control over the normal 2%. They could have raised rates then and did a bunch of things to keep it from happening. But that's not what they've been doing. And that's not what they've been doing since 2008. So that rate hike, that's nonsense. And maybe it happens in March, maybe it doesn't. But for all the markets to sell off at once, especially the crypto market, like, I don't care about the interest rate hike. That rate hike is not going to affect the crypto market, because that interest rate hike is on debt. And it's on debt that is calculated in US dollars. So if they're hiking the interest rate on the US dollar currency, on that debt, but the US dollar currency is inflated all to hell, then there's less purchasing power, less of those dollar value, then what is a rate hike really doing? It's not really doing anything when the amount of money you're paying the interest back for is not the same purchasing power as when you borrowed the money. But that's another thing too. Like, that should have been priced in. Go take a break. Let's see. No, I have not been able to play all 60 games this week. I definitely don't usually have that done towards the end of the week. And of course, tomorrow we'll be back 2 p.m. Actually, I may go a little early tomorrow. 1:30 p.m. we'll be back here for some more live Gods Unchained content, as I have not made it into Mythic yet. I've been trying, but we will get there. Yeah, 2 knives, 1 cut. That's what I was telling them. You know, Google is already behind Hedera. All right. So I think that's enough ranting and nonsense today. I could go through a whole bunch of the coins and look at chart patterns, but with this quick pullback in the markets, I want to see what's going to happen, if we're going to continue to rebound. If everything looks like it's back to normal tomorrow, we've rebounded pretty much most of the gains, which we've already rebounded. Well, that's Gods I'm looking at, but Gods, you can see, has rebounded 25 cents since that drop. Yeah, look, Cosmos Atom already back up to 38. It was a flash crash. So as long as tomorrow things go back to normal, then all these patterns that we've been looking at should be the same. If they don't, then we'll reanalyze from there. But we'll see. Boy, the wind's really getting crazy. That was a weird noise. I think it's my screen door flying off the handles. So I'm going to go check on my screen door. And One Life, go get some rest. Put some ice on your head. I know that was a lot for you and DB to take in all at once. And everybody else, thank you. Thank you for joining me as always. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, if you haven't yet, while I'm thinking about it, before I forget, if you haven't went and joined the Framework Fortune Discord, we do have a Discord for the stock content, crypto content, Gods Unchained content, all the stuff. Go to frameworkfortune.com, free sign up. There's no paywalls, and you will get access to the Discord channel where you can come talk to me and everybody else, including One Life and Daniel B. You can have your own debates with those two in the Discord. And post memes if you'd like. I actually posted a meme today of One Life and some of his crazy talk for the Discord. So you guys enjoy that who are already in there. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.